Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake, myself and King Beebs, as we are entering a week with MLB baseball. The Korea games will be Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be streaming Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Make sure you guys check that out. I think we're doing a gaming stream into that. Papi Gordo, no sleep, no need. Excited. That's I still have a fresh memory of college. I think the dining hall opened at 6 a.m. and they did like a Korea series, and there was a bunch of baseball losers in the dining hall at 6 a.m., like eating breakfast, watching the game. So if that story speaks to you in some way, excited to see you Wednesday morning, and you'll see a new player in the dugout. Dylan Cease. Traded to the San Diego Padres, one of the star pitchers we thought would be traded this offseason, gets dealt to San Diego. We'll break that down. We got a little Ohtani might be playing the field meat to chew on. If I'm being half honest with you, there's just a little bit of a click in there, but I don't know. It's a fun conversation because they're also playing Mookie Betts at shortstop and starting to believe in that less every day. I think at the end, fill out a bracket live, just walk you through my thought process, see if you find any tidbits you like. And any other baseball stuff along the way. DJ LeMahieu just reported probably out to start the season, so some turmoil in Yankee land. If you have a third baseman for us, let us know. Ryan McMahon still wants you. Let's get into the Dylan Cease trade, because as the offseason almost officially is ending trade-wise, who are the aces we thought we would get traded? Tyler Glasnow,
Burns, Cease, and Bieber.
So wow,
3 of the 4.
And for a lot of this offseason, it felt like it was only going to be 1 out of 4.
Yeah, it felt like, especially Cease, it was like, well, you can wait till this deadline if you want, and you'll be trading him with a year and a half. That's still a lot of value.
Right.
But they pulled the trigger.
The San Diego Padres pulled the trigger on Dylan Cease, coming off a year, 33 starts, a 4.58 ERA. Slightly deceptive, slightly not, dude. He had a 1.4 whip. That's a little...
He's always walked guys.
Jumps off the page a little bit.
Had some bad vibes and bad defense last year as well,
That's
which
true.
doesn't help.
I'm willing to wash anything White Sox out. In 2022... 32 starts, a 2.2 ERA, 1.84 innings pitched, second in the Cy Youngs. And no, it's funny. Second in the Cy Youngs. That's weird. He led the AL in walks that year. So I'm gonna break analytics for a second. Give me Cease and Snell and we'll figure it out. God damn it.
It's not necessarily the most fun watch, but like it works, man.
Walk is
It's
code
fun.
for a single. Did the Geeks have that one yet? Anyways, I'll come off of that. Maybe, and I guess we'll find out. This is a big pivot year for Cease, but in 2021, 32 starts, 165 innings, to the tune of a 3.9. So I think that's, he in those past 3 years, he's kind of covered best, middle, and worst case, IMO. I always like when a pitcher goes to a different league. Petco, a pretty pitcher-friendly park. And I don't know, Dylan Cease's stuff passes the eye test that he's going to be pretty good. Looks pretty good in the Padres uniform with the facial hair he's got going on. That kind of works. And if I'm being completely honest, it changes my outlook for their season. And one player's really not supposed to do that in baseball. But he's a very high-end pitcher, or can be a very high-end pitcher. I love their pitching staff, man. Yu Darvish, who his numbers weren't super impressive last year, he's still Yu Darvish. I did want to check out his Baseball Savant just to see if it made me turn my head. Yu Darvish, Baseball Savant, instant reaction. It's not super pretty. Coming off a year in 2022 when it was super pretty. What happened? Nothing too crazy. So, okay, I'm still not out on Yu Darvish, but he's at least a lock for innings. Joe Musgrove is really good. Joe Musgrove missed a little bit of last year. I believe that was his weightlifting incident. 17 starts to a tune of a 305. With the San Diego Padres, 78 starts, 459 innings, 305 ERA. Joe Musgrove is a guy. He's probably the one on that staff, if you're being honest. We'll see what Darvish looks like this year. Michael King, the big piece in the Juan Soto trade, or one of the pieces in the Juan Soto trade. I'm sure we have a chunk of Yankee fans that tune into this. You know Mike King, and it's almost one of those things that I'd almost feel nervous talking to an opposing fan base. And this is just when I try to be a neutral sports fan. The way Yankee fans would talk about Mike King, you'd almost have like buyer beware. Awesome human. The stuff is gross. And the biggest thing was he got stretched out to becoming a starter later in the season. And during that time period, he pitched really well. When he switched to a starter, end of August, 8 starts, 38.1 innings, 48 strikeouts, a 1.88 ERA. And for me, because again, we say a lot of stuff, so you can't always fully take credit for things. I thought Mike King would be able to transition to being a starting pitcher, like a lot of pitchers who started in the minor leagues. He had the pitch mix, which that's the big thing. Like, that's kind of what it comes down to. If you have the difference between 2 and 3 pitches in Major League Baseball, very important. Unless you're kind of like a freak show like Strider or Rodon when they're right. Mike King has a chance to be really good. He still has to be a starting pitcher over a full season. He pitched 104 innings last year, but he's 28, turns 29 this year. Pitched a lot in the minor leagues. Mike King has all-star potential. Mike King has Cy Young vote getting potential. Like, if it all comes together, and maybe there's some Yankee bias there, I really don't think there is. If it all comes together, Mike King can be really, really good. That's 4 with Cease, man. Like, okay, let's play a game, BBD. Who's a top 4 rotation that you would rather have over the Padres? Baltimore.
Accounting for current health in mind.
Current health.
Because, like, a week ago,
right,
10 days ago, like, I'd take the Yankees over that, but...
It'd be close. I'm a little gun-shy on the Yankees. Cole at the top is always tough to negotiate with, and then if you get anything. Atlanta probably has a conversation. Strider, Fried, Charlie Morton, Chris Sale.
Yeah.
You got a little risk there, but you also have some probably high-end potential of that rotation.
Yeah. Astros rotation isn't where we typically have them.
No. Dodgers is interesting. I mean, right now it's Glasnow, Yamamoto, Miller, Stone. Congrats, Gavin Stone, Warehouse, family member of the Warehouse, Colin Stone. I guess when the Dodgers are right, Philly, Nola, Wheeler.
Philly's got an argument.
Suarez, and then whoever you like out of Taijuan Walker, Chris Sanchez.
Like, Mets, even with Senga's in now. But Philly, I think if you're a Wheeler Nola guy, you're in on that over the Padres. But
Toronto, Gossman, Kikuchi, Bassett, Barrios. They've got a very similar argument to San Diego. So, I don't know.
They'd be mad if I said I definitively want the other one. But
yeah, I guess the point is that top 4, if they're right, they can go toe-to-toe with pretty much anyone. And so with the top of their lineup, like for a little bit this offseason, I was like, shoot, Tatis is going to go off. Like, Soto's out of town. He kind of, when you don't play any sport, it's really tough to jump back in. He showed more than enough last year that I would not be surprised if it goes. It was an ugly Padres year throughout anyways. Bogart's first year in the NL West, I wouldn't be surprised if he ticks up. Cronenworth should bounce back a little bit. Machado, some of the list he sneaky shows up on as best hitters in baseball. Ha-Seong Kim, and And then you've kind of got some fun youth, like Campusano. Jackson Merrill has officially made the team as the top prospect center fielder. I don't know. Maybe I'm too far in it. Their bullpen has some concerns. There's a lot of wild cards that I just have no idea. Yuki Matsui, Woo-Suk Go. They do have our guy Wandy back there. So a little close to the situation there.
That's true.
I don't know. I kind of liked the San Francisco Giants over the Padres coming into the season before Dylan Cease. I think I flipped right back. And it'll be interesting to see, can they keep the Diamondbacks within their realm? And are the Dodgers just going to Dodger? You already know the answer to that. Yes. But when we're talking expanded wild card, it'll be interesting to see how all of that sorts out. And where do the Padres go bargain bin shopping? Because they can still use an MLB body or two on the team. Should we be talking about the Padre Yankees yet? Tyler Wade, Higgy, Michael King, Johnny Brito, Wandy Peralta.
Mm-hmm.
And they just traded away. I always mix. Did they trade away Thorpe?
Thorpe.
Okay. They traded away Drew Thorpe, who was one of the pieces in the Soto trade. So I thought that was an interesting point from Trevor on today's Talking Yanks. Like, when you trade away Juan Soto, 1 year of Juan Soto, to be fair, you want to look back and be like, hey, what happened?
Overall, what did we get for him?
Mike King was their biggest, flyer. Reliever transitioning to a starter, but everything looks awesome. And, the guy started in the minors,
2 years
It's just kind of, where does it land? Is Mike King a 4 starter? Is Mike King a 2 starter?
It was scary when it looked like he was your 2.5, 3
Right.
coming into the year. Penciled in as their 4. I can work with that.
Like that a lot. And then Dylan Cease. So, the kind of the number one prospect that came over, you flip him for Cease, and you're going to have him for 2 years. So, as a Padre fan, I know it's kind of been an ugly offseason for them. I feel like them in Seattle, there was a chunk of their offseason that they didn't know where the ship was going. And I think they both landed in pretty good places. I'm drinking more San Diego Kool-Aid, as you'd expect when you bring over a picture of Dylan Cease's magnitude. But, man, their rotation has a chance to be really, really good. I always wondered, they're all righties. Does that matter? I've always really wondered.
Yeah.
In theory it matters, but also it doesn't, right?
Yeah, if you're just good.
You Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Dylan Cease, Michael King.
I feel like it's not the same as building a lineup where you're diversity really helps.
For the pitcher, that's what helps you navigate it.
Yeah.
As a hitter, I don't know.
I don't know if that's something that's kind of aged out of baseball. At a time it'd be you don't stack your lefties back to back.
Former MLB pitchers, hitters listening to this, let me know. Happy for San Diego. Chicago White Sox, I don't know. I said it, and what does their team even look like? Lineup, not doing much for me. Looks like the back end of their rotation is the White Sox rotation, as listed, is Garrett Crochet, who I thought was still going to be coming out of the bullpen. So I've been a little disconnected from White Sox chatter, apparently.
Yeah, that was announced today.
Eric Fetty
KBO.
in your 2 slot, coming back from the KBO. Michael Soroka as your 3-man, former Braves ace. Chris Flexen, who did the bop around last year, the 4. And then, politely, Nick Nastrini, currently listed as the 5 starter. Looks like he came over in a trade with the Dodgers. So, I'm not sure. White Sox fans, how we're feeling.
The bullpen doesn't alleviate any questions, I'll tell you that. 4 listed closers.
6, hey, it looks like they have 6 top 100 prospects by Fangraphs, a couple of those coming out of this trade. And it looks like 5 out of the 6 are going to play this year or next year. So, hey, maybe we're talking about a nice White Sox rebrand. I don't know. Should we be mad the Yankees didn't do this? Is that
Cease?
dumb? Yeah.
I know, I was reading some like comps to what the Yankees package would be. The Iriarte they don't really have a comp for, but you could argue either of their top pitching prospects are better than Thorpe. It's a little bit picking flavors.
Kind of like Chase Hampton and Will Warren, if you were going to do that.
Yeah, which like you wouldn't trade both of them.
Yeah, it's getting a little Yankee-ish, and I guess I'm trying to say it for your team too. The price for Dylan Cease was 2 top 100 prospects and a flyer and a bullpen guy. So I don't know. I don't know if your team has that. I don't know. The other big thing is, do the White Sox want him? That's the other big part of doing a trade.
If their guys could just like Drew Thorpe more than whoever your pitching prospect is, even if your guy's a higher ranked prospect, if your guy likes curveballs or whatever Thorpe throws.
Yeah.
Whatever. Kind of sucks for Drew Thorpe going to a place that hasn't developed pitching. But
hey, he's probably going to get
game.
an opportunity, and if you can be good on your own. Who'd the Dodgers traded for Glass now? It was what? Basically getting off of Margot.
Johnny DeLuca.
Pepio, who proved he could pitch a little bit.
Yeah, he was young, interesting
26,
pitcher.
pitched at the major league level. Johnny DeLuca, Trev's guy. Where'd Trev see him? At a wedding or something? Or no, New Year's? I think it was New Year's.
Does sound right.
I think Trev's a member at like a fake country club. And I think Johnny DeLuca was there for New Year's. So the Rays got off of cash, 1 year of Glass now. They had to give him an extension, and Margot. And they got Pepio back. Okay. And then what was the Corbin Burns? That was the Brewers trade. That was 2
DL
top
Hall
100
and
pros.
Luis Ortiz.
Well, Ortiz is top 100. Hall used to be. Kind of failed, but it was on the way back up. So I don't know.
Found something.
Basically,
seems like the Brewers clearly like him.
And Corbin Burns kind of was the head of that class health-wise and performance ability-wise, but only 1 year. So I don't know. Yeah, I would be I mean, it's easy to say with trading prospects, but none of those feel icky. None of those, as a Yankee fan or whatever fan of a team you are, is like, oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No way.
I think all of those get a similar reaction of like, why couldn't we have done that? Which happens with a lot of trades, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they get a lot of times guys either go for much more or much less than what you think they're going to.
What happened with the Glasnow extension? Did the Dodgers demand that?
I think
that was like, if we're gonna do this,
until he accepted the extension.
Pretty nice situation for him.
Had all the leverage.
God, that guy must have a lot of bad days.
Huh.
See the video? He was one of the Dodger players giggling in the dugout over the first pitch yesterday. If you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. So that's the Dylan Cease trade. Man, Burns, Cease, and Glass all got traded. I wonder if that is gonna. The one thing I was mad we missed on Talking Baseball today when I was thinking about it afterwards was that another thing holding up Snell and Monty? You know, if you're one of the teams that thinks they're going to be in the mix, hey, if you thought you were in on the Cease trade, you were debating trading prospects and only paying 6. Cease, what's it, like $9 million this year, probably 14 next, guessing.
Assuming a good year, that's a fair guess.
But yeah, I do wonder if we do get some Snell or Monty momentum before the season, because Cease was another step in the process. Otherwise, I am worried that this is going to drag deep into the season until potentially the draft, because then you don't have to give up the draft pick, the qualifying offer draft pick. And for a lot of the teams that are supposed to be involved in this, they can save on some tax this year. So, God, if we get updates on that, you'll hear from us, but zero Monty rumors. And we did get a Snell Houston rumor from Bobby Knight. I guess Nightingale, Bobby Knight, is a real person, too.
Hmm.
Did he die? Had to, right?
I think so.
Bobby Knight. Yeah. Last year. R.I.P. Bob Knight. Bob Nightingale, the MLB reporter, kinda. He said that the Astros were in on Snell. He kind of walked that back a little bit. But we also heard on our end that the Astros were in on Snell. So a little bit of smoke and fire there. And I don't know. I in my head, I thought that would be a funny last attempt to get a real offer out of the Yankees, get an offer out of the Angels, get an offer out of the Texas Rangers. But I don't know. Jimmy was on this a little bit. It's either happening. It's either before the season or I think it's at the draft. Because otherwise, what are we waiting for? If you're not going to get the full season.
Yeah. Gonna let him join mid-year. Yeah.
God. I mean, if you're Snell, maybe. I don't know. Interested to see. It was fun. I didn't realize that Keuchel signed a 1-year deal that year. And then he hit free agency again. If you're Snell, you can't do that. You just won the Cy Young. Monty at his peak. Crazy. I wonder where those... Erod got 4 for 80?
Just about.
Are Erod and Monty
90.
comps?
Yes.
Right. I mean, I'd have to dive in a little further, but...
I remember pre-free agency, there was just because Monty was at such a high that, Erod's going to be, you probably get similar production, similar age.
Yeah, I mean,
and you'll get him for, half.
I think if you ask teams to pick, I do think Monty wins 60-40, but I don't know.
Yeah, he'd get more votes in a straight, which of these guys do you want to start for a month for you? But you'd get some Erod voters in there.
Yeah. All right. The other, I mentioned this is part click, if I'm being 100. But the Dodgers just came out and said Shohei Ohtani is going to start a throwing program that may allow him to play the field this year. I don't know. I mean, part of me loves it that Roberts is he said, we're going to get back to the States. He's going to start his throwing program. We'll see how the progression goes. If his arm is healthy enough, we'll have that conversation in the field. I don't know. The baseball season can move in a lot of different directions. If the injury bug strikes or whatever it is, the Dodgers already have a ton of outfielders that you'd wouldn't think Shohei playing the outfield is necessarily a need. He can't. It would be sick if he could play imagine if we were talking about Ohtani playing shortstop, Ohtani and Mookie. I'm not saying he can't. He won't. I don't know. It would be a cool part of this season. If they brought back JD Martinez, still a free agent, by the way.
Oh,
Everyone's
gross.
forgotten. I don't know. They have a crowded outfield. I hope it becomes a storyline because I hope it's a fun thing for baseball. I'm as a baseball fan trying to go into Dodgers fan shoes. I wonder how sick it would be compared to, I don't know, Ohtani letting a throw eat in right field. I don't think I want to see that.
Yeah, it'd be
as a fan of the sport.
Take it easy.
I do, but I don't know. What are we doing, Dodgers? Why is Mookie Betts your starting shortstop?
That is odd.
In an extremely rude way, and I'm sorry, Dodger fans, and sometimes you guys can come at my neck the hardest. I want Mookie at short not to work a little bit. Just because otherwise you've broken baseball. Joe's McFly had a really good argument, though. Mookie Betts is good at everything. So, yeah.
I would bet on he's fine.
It's weird because I'm rooting for Mookie Betts to do it because he's awesome. But in a way, I'm very much rooting for the old baseball philosophy of hey, your shortstop has to play shortstop. That's supposed to be the sacred position. That and catcher, basically. Like, you can't just put someone there. Otherwise, it's a bad time. Maybe Mookie Betts isn't someone. Although I know there were some highlights going around that Mookie wasn't looking too pretty, which he shouldn't. He's 30 years old. Having an internal argument with myself. That's
I mean, even when he came up, I know he was drafted as a shortstop, but as a prospect, almost played almost entirely second base. Like, very little shortstop till last year.
And that's the thing. Second base was kind of a fun convo because we did it on Talking Baseball a few times. It's like, what's less wear and tear, second base or outfield? Like, just kind of standing out there by your lonesome, your thoughts, or at second base where you're in on the action, but not a lot of intense throws. Not a lot of,
you can take a beat.
Not a lot of intense sprints and dives, in theory. And loser Jake played a lot of out-of-the-park baseball in my day. I used to laugh because Mookie used to move to second base later in his career, and I'd be like, oh, you silly video game. That's the best right fielder ever. Then it happened, and I was like, damn, silly video game. But he never played shortstop. In
the video game.
And I guess there's also the sick part of me that wanted them to trade for Willy Adames, and it never happened. And maybe if the Brewers fall out of it, it will. But for now, they won't. Yankees BS, DJ LeMahieu probably not starting the season with the team. Hashtag sad. We're actually spreading it out a little more. We're getting to the part of free agency of spring training where we're getting these like official announcements. So I guess comment below what your team has happening. I've definitely seen a couple guys lately. Like Manoah, you just mentioned Danny Jansen. Danny Jansen out to start the season. TJ Friedl, broken wrist. I love TJ Friedl. Any other big ones jumping out in your head? I mean, Houston, we've seen their pitching stuff develop. Seems like Jose Urquidy. They currently, Justin Verlander, Lance McCullers, Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy on the IL. That's 4. That's a rotation. That's insane. Let us know who else has the injury bug going around.
Marlins rotation's got it tough right now. Garrett and Cabrera.
Yeah.
Sandy's been out for the year, but
currently has their rotation Luzardo, Puck, Trevor Rogers, Ryan Weathers, and Yanni Chirinos in Miami. They have, we're talking about top 4s of rotations. How about the Marlins IL?
Marlins, Dodgers, and Astros IL rotations would battle.
Sandy, Yuri, Edward Cabrera, and Braxton Garrett. That can go toe-to-toe. Damn. Injuries stink, dude.
Hate it.
I did this last year. There's so many. I think it's because guys are in better shape, which is just hilarious. And I don't think there's a real solution. Because the solution is to be in less good shape, not throw as hard, but then you don't make it to the majors. So it's a real cycle. See ya in the field, Shohei. And as we do every March, it's time to fill out a bracket. I know a lot of you come here for my college basketball expertise. I did tell people, might have to find a clip. Maybe we'll have to bump someone in socials. I'm pretty sure I said it on Wake and Jake. I placed a bet on January 2nd on the University of Connecticut to win the men's national title. I think I got it at plus 1,200. They're down to plus 400. They're one of the bigger favorites heading into March, and deservedly so, by the way. UConn is awesome. They have 6 players that can put 20 on you. College basketball teams normally don't have that. Klingon might be the big man Samson Johnson, Slamson Johnson behind him. I went to the UConn St. John's game. I went with a Talkin' Yanks fan who's an assistant coach on the St. John's women's basketball team.
Oh.
Nice little connection. Don't know if he wants to be shouted out or not. Joe. There you go. Figure out the rest. So it's funny. I was with St. John's people, so I couldn't really celebrate anything. But they were nice seats. Good time with Joe. UConn's nasty, and he was saying that they were talking to the other St. John coaches about the scouting report, and they said Klingon, the 7'2" guy that changes everything you do on defense, and he's one of the best finishing interior bigs I've seen in college. They said that for them, for St. John's, it was a worse matchup when he was on the bench. So UConn just has it at every position. I am weirdly confident they're going to win it all. So with that, if you just want to click UConn the rest of the way, you're welcome. I'll see if there's anything else that jumps out to me, and we'll fill out a bracket quick. Florida Atlantic Northwestern going FAU. They went to the Final Four last year. People forget that. Also, Northwestern had a kid get hurt, so I'm out on them.
Ooh.
That's a big thing for me. You have a kid get hurt, although I'm going to walk all over that in a second. You're out. The 12-5. Everyone loves a 12-5. San Diego State, UAB. I'm going San Diego State. I think they also made the Final Four last year. I think that's one of the cute fun facts of this region. Although I've always liked UAB as a school, I think their dragon mascot is fun.
It's cute.
And they were going to cancel their football program, but Roddy White fought for it, and they kept it. So I've always liked that. So that's huge. Auburn, Yale. As much as I'd love to pick Yale, I think Auburn's good. God, I don't have the upset yet. Jeez. Okay, we'll find the upset later. BYU's a really fun team. They have a massive big man who has a cool name. Let me look it up. BYU men's basketball roster. It's Ali. He plays like Jokic.
Oh, I think I have seen a video of him.
He's awesome. He is that guy. Let me get the name because I want to get it right. What am I looking at? BYU Cougars. Is this their basketball team? Ali Khalifa. I don't know. Just an awesome watch. People had them as a dark horse. One of my friends, Big Evan & Co., you may know him, big UConn guy, adamant that the Huskies got screwed in their bracket this year. I think there's an argument if you're a Ken Pom guy. Iowa State is the 2 seed in their reason. A lot of people thought they would be the 1. And if you're the top seed of the tournament, that UConn is, you're not supposed to get matched up with the 5 seed. People thought Iowa State was the 4. They're with them. I don't know, salty UConn stuff. Illinois beats Morehead State. Good. Drake gets the upset over Washington because I need something to look ugly in this bracket. UConn beats them. I'll have San Diego State beat Auburn. Everyone's kind of on Auburn. They think UConn and Auburn would be a really fun game. So I'll take that down. BYU beats Illinois. Boom. BYU, Iowa State. Iowa State versus UConn. UConn beats them. Cool. Bottom left. North Carolina's the 1 seed. Undeserving, a lot of people think. Good for them. Mississippi State, Michigan State. This is, a lot of teams know the jersey. Mississippi State's head coach has led a couple Cinderellas the past couple years. They play awesome defense. It's disgusting to watch. Teams struggle to even get a shot off. I'm going to believe in it. I'm going to have them play North Carolina. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. Got to go Grand Canyon. 12-5. Are you kidding me? School that just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Grand Canyon just made themselves a sports school. You're there. I think they made the tournament the past 3 or 4 years, too.
Yeah.
That matters. Alabama, Charleston. Okay, this bracket's got a chance to be ugly. I'll leave Bama for now. Clemson, New Mexico. New Mexico, screw it. Get out of here, Clemson. You're a football school. That's analysis. Baylor, Colgate. Feels like a buzzer beater. We're going Baylor. Dayton, Nevada. Go Flyers, go. Sure. Arizona. They beat Long Beach State. They'll beat Dayton. Let's go Baylor, Arizona. Do we want to go Grand Canyon with the Cinderella run? They're playing Alabama? Sure. It's a bad bracket. I don't like it. Everyone always tries to do too many upsets. Maybe I'm trying to show off for the people. Let's see. If I feel another upset, maybe I'll come back and remove that. Let's go. I like North Carolina. We'll go 1 seeds. Soft. But that's what can win you a bracket. In the South, the top right corner of the bracket, Houston plays Longwood. We're going long? No. Houston's really good, although they did kind of embarrass themselves at the party the other day. Nebraska is one of the most fun teams in this tournament. They've got the kid who idolizes Steph Curry. If you haven't seen him, let me get his name because you might know it really well in a week. Nebraska, if I type in Nebraska Curry, will it pop up? Casey Tominaga. I believe he's Japanese and referred to as the Japanese Steph Curry. Wears 30, shoots from anywhere on the court, plays electric. A&M just as a school feels like they underachieve. So a little bit of shots fired there. Wisconsin, James Madison. I'm going to go Wisconsin. They were playing their best ball in the tournament. They've got a few guards that can fill it up. Duke, Vermont. I wish I could take Vermont. I can't. I will take the Dukies. Texas Tech, NC State. Ew. Don't really care if I'm being honest. Wow, that's the least appealing game I've seen on there. Actually, no, NC State's fun. They just made a run in the ACC. Oh, my God, dude. They've got a big man. If you haven't seen this guy, you're going to like this guy, BBD. He's massive. DJ Burns. Type him into your Google search. DJ Burns Jr., NC State. He is a beast.
Oh.
He is, yeah. That's college basketball. He's nasty, too. He's like...
flexing.
There's some, like, Zach Randolph in there. He's a massive human being, and I'll believe in that. Why not? NC State, Kentucky, sure, they'll beat Oakland. Maybe. Heard it's like Kentucky's best scoring team ever, which maybe that's just the state of affair in basketball. Florida, just mentioned my hurt player theory. They had a gross injury over the weekend, so they're out. So I get to click the winner of Boise, Colorado on the brackets, which always feels weird. Can't believe that's a thing. In my heart of hearts, I believe Colorado. I'm going to go my school theory. A&M is struggling right now. Colorado's on the way up. I think schools feel that. Maybe, maybe not.
Sure.
Marquette, Western Kentucky, no thanks. Marquette versus Boise and Colorado. I'll go with Marquette. I believe in my Big East. NC State, Kentucky. We'll go Kentucky. We'll believe. I want to not believe in Houston, and I want Nebraska to win everyone over, so I'll do that. Nebraska, eat it, Houston. You're out. So what was it? Do I need to get rid of a former upset? Grand Canyon? Yeah, I'm taking Grand Canyon out.
Do you have Alabama in now?
I don't believe in Alabama, though. Let's just make
just
it
have UNC beat them.
Alabama has lost against every good team, it looks like. Screw it. They both stay. Let's get March. Okay, so Nebraska, Wisconsin, Duke. Duke wins that. Duke, Marquette. Ooh, ugly. Marquette beats Kentucky. I'll go Marquette. They go to the Final Four. Little Big East bias kicking in, people. Purdue. More like Perdon't. Utah State, TCU. Everyone seems to be on TCU because I think they can score it, fill it up. I'll ride with the people on that one because I know nothing about Utah State. Gonzaga, McNeese State. People are excited for that game. I'll stay with the Zags for a round. Why not? Kansas, Sanford. This is where I'm going to walk all over myself. Kansas has a bunch of guys hurt. For some reason, I like Kansas a lot. Their big man Dickinson, the big lefty dude that was at Michigan the past couple years, he's at Kansas now. He's hurt. Their other scorer, kid on the wing, he's banged up. they're kids. They're going to get healthy. They'll survive Sanford. They'll bring it for Gonzaga in the next game. South Carolina, Oregon. I know people that went to both of those schools. That's nice. Sco Ducks. That one's just for roommate Jeff. Floorball. Add.
Sure.
Creighton, Akron. Creighton's got a little bit of juice. Sure. I'll fight off the upset there. Texas will play the winner of UVA, CSU. I don't like either of those teams. We'll go Texas. Tennessee, St. Peter's.
Ooh, our St. Peter's.
I'm not clicking it. Tennessee should win in that. I love a good storyline. Tennessee, Texas. Rick Barnes, the head coach of Tennessee, came from Texas. I believe the guy running Texas now used to work for Rick Barnes. There's your storyline. I'll go Tennessee, although I don't love them this year. Although they have a kid who's going to be like a top pick. Dallas Connect, I think his name is. He's allowed to shoot. Yeah. He's allowed to shoot from anywhere. I've seen him play awful, and I've seen him play like a level of incredible.
Dalton Connect.
Okay, so I'm feeling good about that. Purdue, TCU. A lot of people are going to have TCU there and feel like Purdue's not going to slay their March Dragon. I'm going with Kansas. I'll go with Creighton because I'm a Big East bias guy. Creighton. I'll go Kansas over Purdue. The kids are going to get healthy. Bill Self, and I'll go with Kansas coming out. So that would have my Final Four as UConn, North Kakalaki, Marquette, and Kansas. You know where I have UConn going. Let's go Kansas. Screw it. UConn, how many total points will be scored in the championship game? Let's see. UConn's going to score 86. Kansas is going to score 78. Quick math on that. 14.
About 41.
144? 154.
Yeah.
And I'm entering to win some bracket tournament, I guess. So submit my pick. That was my bracket. Oh, I got to put in my address. No way.
No.
All right. Thank you guys. For a lot of you, that might have been hilariously bad. Some of you probably liked it. I hope there was one pick that could have affected your decision. If so, comment below. If not, we will see you Wednesday. Jolly Olive, the shortstops. Whoo! Whoo! People like a click. Thanks, everyone.